Oh, my fault.
Fumble producer. Well, Kenny. What is your producer tag? By the way,
It's not Will Kenny. I know that. think of a producer.
well, Devin. No. Boom, 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 king. Boom, 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 king. Boom, 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 king.
Hi guys.
Boom, 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 boom.
Welcome to Bench Season 3.
Boom, boom, boom.
We're back.
You're probably sick of hearing that song after you just heard it. I hope not. Welcome back to Season 3, everybody.
No, welcome to Season 3. Not welcome.
Fuck!
Because to us, it's welcome back because, surprise, surprise, we're not good at this.
Yeah.
This is now our, fourth or fifth take in the past 30 minutes, I feel like.
30 seconds.
30 seconds trying to get this
It has
going.
been rapid restart.
But on top of that, the clips that you just saw before our brand new intro, shout out to the homie Jaden and shout out to the homie Jordan for their help with that.
And the homie Colin for putting it together.
And me for
Participating.
But yeah.
You really did the most, actually.
But the clips that you just saw before that brand new intro, they were from our recording earlier today, which was supposed to be the very first episode of this new season. And
We thought what better way to start than to go right basically into the middle of downtown where the landing used to be. They turned it into a new park. They're about to put up like a new, a big like sculpture in the middle of Jack's, and it's going to be in that park. And we shot a long hour, and I mean a long hour.
yeah, you actually had to step away for the last bit because you got like heat flashes or whatever,
Yeah.
and we're about to pass out.
I was legit about to have like heat exhaustion. It has been hot. Like I know that there's a big talk about like climate crisis, and I know like Europe is having problems. I know India, it was already reported like earlier last year that they're already hitting like unlivable temperatures. Florida is usually hot. It is fucking hot. Like it is different. And that shit earlier, just being out there for an hour, we got to that last segment that we wanted to talk through, and I was mid-sentence, and I was like, yeah, I gotta go somewhere.
Yeah, I was fully in listening mode, and it took a second to realize, and I look over at you, and you're like dazed.
Yeah.
Your eyes are down, and you were like really focused on a blade of grass.
Yeah, it was fucked. So, now we are here at, what is this park called? Like, maybe should we leave that, like...
Let's leave it ambiguous.
Yeah.
We are at any park you would think we're at.
Any park you
Ever.
desire.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is our, like, whatever time trying to get back into the swing of things.
Yeah. And now we're finally crossing our fingers. And
I'm still like ear ringing from being slapped with tortillas.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys don't follow the TikTok, go follow the TikTok.
yeah.
That challenge sucks.
I had a grand old time.
I'm sure you did.
Whoa, it's not like I wasn't slapped at all.
I know.
Honestly, by the end, I think I got slapped the most.
No, I did get you with a good one. I got you with a nice little stinger. The uppercut was crazy.
If you don't mind, could we play that right now?
Yeah, I think we could.
All right.
Yeah.
Stinger, right?
Yeah.
Can we play mine now? I'd like to imagine you didn't play it. And then it's a camera.
I thought it was a little punny because you said stinger, and I actually made new stingers that'll like swipe over to show clips and stuff.
Nice.
And I might just have it like sting out to my clip,
Nice.
and then just nothing to yours.
Cool.
It just stings to a black screen. It just goes back. Nah, I'm playing. Yeah, no, it was fun, but like, god damn, I never knew like tortillas hurt like that.
Yeah, you'd think because it's so flimsy, it wouldn't have the impact that it does, but it makes a great noise. I
It
will
does.
say.
It does.
Your sister Courtney played a round or two, and hers took the longest, not because there was that many rounds, but they took the longest because. Why did it take the longest? She
We
just
legitimately like couldn't. I've noticed this with just like my sister in general. Like, we both like are so awkward at times where like we'll find like the dumbest shit funny.
yeah.
And I think just the idea of the situation that we may hit each other, I think kept making her laugh. So she just like, she would not stop laughing. We would go to do rock, paper, scissors, and then she's like, and she had like spit out her water
Yeah.
before we had even played.
It's funny when one of my last interactions with her was talking about my croaking frog noise, and then the noises that came out of you guys today were like 10 times worse.
Yeah.
They were very visceral. They're very wet.
What?
You-
Nah, I'm playing. I did a couple cartoon gulps on accident, you know, the
yeah.
and a lot of whimpers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, yeah.
It was scary. Once you get that first feel of how that shit feels, you're just like, oh, I don't want that. Like, I was flinching hard as fuck.
Yeah. There was one time where you were going to get me, and I entirely just like did that. I know that's not in the spirit of the game, and that's, I shouldn't have done that.
But it's
But
like,
I felt cool.
nice. It's just like a natural reaction too. Like,
Yeah.
I think I did it for one of them too. But anyways,
Whoa.
dog, do you want to kiss?
No.
Okay.
Wait, did you ever put on your owl ring?
I never put the owl ring on. We'll do it for the photo shoot.
Nah, now we gotta cut the whole episode and start again.
No. Fuck you. We got Jaden manning the camera right now.
Put a peace sign
If you
up
wanna-
or whatever.
Yeah, if you want to say what's up. Yes, sir.
Wow.
So,
I can't believe you made a whole stinger of his face going in. And
yeah, I
stuff.
actually, when I got the shot for the intro where I was swiping across, he also did one, and I masked it in. So,
Yeah. He was weird about it. He did it from above and
Yeah.
looking down.
it was kind of funky.
Yeah.
But there is a lot to talk about from the past month, basically, that we've
Yeah.
been away. Last time we were at it, we were at Margaritaville, and it was like kind of benched, but not really, because obviously we couldn't get the bench up there. And we have, funny enough, we actually have a friend here who has some thoughts on the TATER TOTS and Mr. Tate himself. But we talked about that earlier. The whole rise of the manosphere, and it kind of started before we left, but Andrew Tate specifically kind of getting his rise was very interesting to see. What else? Pink Sauce.
Yeah.
What are some other things?
The
We watched
way
Stranger Things.
The way we both binged Stranger Things in the matter of just a few days, like from seasons 1 through 4, and our individual thoughts on everything about that godforsaken show.
Yeah. We both kind of binged it, like you said.
I've been seasons 1 through 4 in 4 days max.
I think I had already watched most of season 1, so I kind of watched like the last few episodes as a refresher. And then I watched the last 3 seasons within like a week. I think it was the week I actually had COVID, and then I watched the last 2 episodes when they came out with Meg.
Right.
And instead of kind of recapping everything that happened, because it's a lot to go over to be like, oh, hey, like we just watched this entire show, like the whole series.
Yeah.
I thought that we could briefly, we'll like mention character names and just give like one word to kind of give our final thoughts, whether on their transformation as a whole, if they have, or if they kind of stay relatively the same, what describes them the most.
Okay.
So I guess we can go through the main four first. Mike.
Okay. Well, let's do a 3, 2, 1 and both say our words.
Okay.
Okay. Ready?
3, 2, 1. Ugly.
Punchable. Nice.
Yeah. I'm not gonna like shame him. I think partially it's jealousy because Meg really likes him. She's into the Pete Davidson type and the like skinny pale white dudes that get into rock music for some reason.
The Victorian child looking. Yeah. Is she like into Timothy Chalamet?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't think she was.
Because I think he falls into that archetype as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe not like deathly sick looking.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's mostly like sick looking dudes, which makes me feel like, yo, do I look like like what's wrong with me? Like, do I look? My anemia is really showing, I guess.
Dude, you're purple right now. That's sick.
Wow. But overall,
yeah. Elaborate why you find Finn Wolfhard ugly.
Not him particularly. That partially is the joke about me being jealous or whatever. But part of it, his character development has just made him like the most annoying, obnoxious character in that show. Mm-hmm. I think that from season 1, you think he's going to be one of the main characters. In the last season, he's really just kind of in the way and annoying.
He did fuck all until that final speech.
Yeah. He really did kind of just complain about like, oh, Ella's going to move on. Maybe I'm not Lois Lane. It's like, who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Like, I get it to some extent. The sentiment makes sense. But it just like, I don't know, it feels like, especially from season 2, I felt like he was incredibly annoying. The way he was kind of treating Max joining out of like jealousy for 11. And I don't know if that was intentional. I feel like he's just been a really obnoxious character with his relationship with 11 and how he treats his friends because of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's just annoying.
But the word you chose was ugly, which is funny.
It was kind of a double, like, ugly personality for the character, but also ugly because he looks funny.
Okay.
But you were saying?
I just said punchable because he looks punchable. He looks punchable, and also same sort of sentiment you have. Like he got very whiny, and you think he would mature past that, having a super powered girlfriend. But I guess that's just the nature of being a teenager. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Jaden, are you gonna watch Stranger Things at all? Okay, cool. I just want to make sure we're not spoiling it. We're spoiling it for the fans and everybody. The fan.
God, yeah.
We're spoiling it for my dad.
Who's next? All right. Dustin.
Dustin.
3, 2, 1.
Huggable.
Love.
You said punchable for Mike. Mm-hmm. I said Dustin's huggable.
Yeah.
It's just like nothing really to complain about him.
Yeah. I will say my one complaint with him was for the way he loved Dart, for being like the smartest of the 4 kids. The way he was so loving to an unknown creature in that world, knowing what went on in that town just a year prior. I thought that was the dumbest thing.
Yeah, you wish he would have had like that foresight. It
Yeah.
kind of didn't make sense to his character.
Yeah. All right. Will.
Well, okay.
3, 2, 1. I feel him.
I don't want to say disappointing, but I put him in that, I'll say disappointing just because he's not as annoying to me as Mike, but he's kind of in that same realm where like him and Mike kind of moved from the foresight, like the main stage of the show, season 2 literally being about him, to now he's just set aside. Yeah. And I think in the future seasons they're gonna point back to future season. I think that they're gonna point back to season 2 and how he can see things and shit.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it's gonna ever be a major plot point again. I don't see how he would be like a bigger picture
Yeah.
character.
The reason I went with I Feel Him is because after season 2, which season 2 I thought was the best Will, 3 and 4, it felt like he was more of a tool to get the plot moving than he was a character in itself,
Yeah.
outside of the exploration of his sexuality that they hinted at. They haven't even fully dove into that like to
Yeah.
a more significant extent. It was more just like, I have experience with the Mind Flayer. I can tell you what to do next whenever that was necessary. And then outside of that, he was just kind of a loner,
Yeah.
which sucks for him. But I don't know. I could have went with deserves more or whatever. But if we're trying to keep it in one word.
No, it could be like a one word or like a small phrase.
Okay. Lucas. You can count down.
3, 2, 1. Underrated.
Black. I don't.
What? Dog, what?
I froze.
You said black?
Am I wrong?
I mean, I guess.
I'm trying to remember what I said from the first time around when we talked about it because I forgot. And he's been very underutilized, and I don't know.
He is very underutilized. I will say that, like, he
He is also black.
does happen to be, but like, that's the only thing you can mention, like, about
That's
his
the only
character?
thing that came to mind. I don't know why.
Oh my god.
I don't know why.
I was gonna say, I feel like most of the conflicts he's had with the friend group, I don't think he's ever been like really wrong about.
Yeah.
Anytime he's been concerned about something that's going to happen, anytime that there has been some sort of issue within the friend group, he generally was kind of the reason.
I think I found that to be annoying at first, his sort of skepticism towards Elle. When you know which side she's truly on from the story perspective, but from the character's perspective, it makes complete sense for him to do that.
Yeah.
And I grew to appreciate that in him as the seasons went on.
Yeah.
Him being the skeptic, sort of the straight man of the group.
Yeah. Other than his relationship with Max and how he generally is, he's a teen guy who's a little toxic. He's not really great at the relationship thing.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, he always was kind of that voice of like reasonable cynicism. And I think that he got shit on for that at times. And I'm like, I think that that's realistic though.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Next.
Steve.
Steve. 3, 2, 1. Hair.
Beautiful.
I think that's we can move on.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Yeah. Duh. Okay, Billy. 3, 2, 1.
Racist. That was the one thing that frustrated me. I was like, they kind of, I'm not saying they gave him a redemption arc, but in the third season, they kind of gave him a bit of a redemption arc. And that frustrated me because in the second season, he started off with just immediate smoke against fucking, it was just, against Lucas, it was just immediate, like, racism. Like, and it was very clear. Like,
They never explicitly said it, but it was like, stay away from certain people.
Yeah.
And he is one of those people.
He's one of those
or whatever
people.
like that. Yeah.
it's like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. I wonder
And then
why you say that.
When you,
in Hawkins,
spoilers,
Indiana.
you know, when he finds the kids hiding away with Steve, he doesn't gun it for any other kid.
Yeah.
Immediately to Lucas, chokes him the fuck out. Like, that was crazy to me. Like, and then for the third season, for him to have this, like, redemption arc where he kind of, like, sacrifices himself.
I kind of like how in the fourth season where Max was, like, sort of, again, spoiler, but who fucking fuck. When Max was sort of expressing to Vecna, I guess, how he was like, yeah, maybe I did want him to die because he was not a great person. That felt like a little bit of, like, a thing for the fans, like, who were sort of annoyed with that redemption arc.
Yeah.
Because it was like, yeah, maybe he did deserve to go because he was not a good person, and it was good that they acknowledged that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess we could go to Max now.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Angry.
Blind. Sorry.
She hit the stinky leg. Her shit wet. I'm like, oh, 11's gonna save her. Oh shit. Nah, she still got that. It's like, oh shit.
I'm gonna be real. Sadie Sink as an actress killed that shit.
Oh yeah.
Like I was brought to tears.
No, definitely.
Yeah, her and Caleb McLaughlin in that scene. Fucking the shit was flowing. The shit was flowing, and the tears. Anyways, Hopper. 3, 2, 1.
Dilf.
Skinny. Okay, we can move on after that. Then we
Okay,
got that. Joyce.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Dilf.
Beetlejuice. Oh. That's all I think of for some reason. That's the
Really?
only other thing I know her from. And then
Winona Ryder. I know her more for Edward Scissorhands.
she was great. It's just like, I don't know why, but every time I see her, I'm just like, oh, I remember her from that one movie.
My boy.
My boy.
Okay. All right, next. Nancy.
Oh.
3, 2, 1.
Shooter.
Punchable. What?
She's a shooter.
Oh.
Nancy Wheeler, keep that thing on her.
I'm not going to explain myself quite yet. Let's just move
No,
on.
I can see her being punchable though. There are times where I'm a little frustrated, not only with like her character like development. I also just feel like it's something about her mannerisms at times. Mm-hmm. We are not supporting domestic violence.
By no means.
Yeah.
I would never punch her or really anyone in that cast.
But if you saw a video of the character getting punched,
I'd be like,
you're like, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah.
but I'm not going to explain further for at least a little bit. Stray away from the main cast a little bit. Mrs. Wheeler. 3, 2, 1.
Milf.
Punchable. Mr. Wheeler. 3, 2, 1.
Milf.
Punchable.
Mr. Wheeler got that sternness to him. No, but he's punchable as fuck. There
Yeah.
was never a redeeming quality about him.
Nah, I told you this in our previous recording. He looks like Ted Cruz.
Yeah, that double down.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Let me get into why they're all punchable now. Mike, I already got into it.
The entire Wheeler
The entire
family.
Wheeler family can get it.
In what way?
Wait a minute.
They can get
Wait a
punched.
minute. They can get punched.
No, they can get it. That goes along with what I was saying.
Yeah. We both say the same thing, but we mean it for completely different reasons. Yeah. But okay, Nancy. I really have no problem with her character. I think when she has a gun and whenever she's fighting, she's a total like badass, and she deserves her flowers. It's just every time I see the way the camera is on her, it always seems like it's from above, and her face is always just like how are you going to?
Yeah, we're good.
Just be in a love triangle, pretend like things are okay, and do those puppy dog eyes.
Yeah. No, I think she's a really cool character. I'm kind of annoyed because you kind of mentioned it earlier, Steve. The one thing we didn't mention about him is that he's moving backwards.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree. I felt like it was nice that he kind of had like a I'm moving on arc.
Yeah.
And for him to go back because, oh, I think Nancy still wants you.
Yeah.
I feel like that's...
No, the way they were pushing that was crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I see why, because then in the final season, it's like John hasn't been there. So, you know, there's room for it to feel like
I've never heard him referred to as John.
Jonathan, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, we know what's up with Steve. Okay, John, a thin. 3, 2, 1.
Stoner.
And we're basically in the same vein.
Yeah.
Being a stoner makes him look way older.
yeah.
He already looked old from season 1. Like, he looked his actor's age more than his character's age from the beginning. But the stoner vibe did not help.
Easily.
Who else? Oh,
I think last character, Vecna.
I wanted to do Murray.
Oh, Murray and then Vecna.
Okay, Murray. 3, 2, 1, go.
Fuckable. Maybe I'm
I
just
think we're in the
whiny.
same vein. No.
Vecna.
3, 2, 1, fuckable.
Bo Burnham. Because hear me out. Not only does
Do I have to?
because not only does one give me the same energy, like mannerisms of a Bo Burnham, just like the really lanky, awkward like body type, but also like the absolute like the nihilistic nature of everything he like preaches and talks about. I immediately think back to like people talking about like Inside. Like this motherfucker just watched a Netflix special and now he's like, the world really has no meaning. What do we really gain? Like, everything we do, it's just a cycle. And it's just like it.
Eat, sleep, work, reproduce, and die.
It's like it. He's not wrong, but it's just like a really nihilistic way of looking at things. And the last time I remember specifically, like thinking about things that way, or like being reminded of how I think about things that way, is through like something like a Inside, where it's this existential dread relating around like changing your worldview to accept that the world is not like perfect and happy, and that's kind of what a lot of his stuff is. I've been on like a kick of watching FD Signifier. I watched his video on it. If you guys want to go check that out, really interesting deep dive. But yeah, Vecna basically is just Bo Burnham.
Well, now I feel weird about saying fuckable.
I think that makes it even more realistic.
Nah, the edits I saw, I would see of Vecna before I watched the show was crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and then I get it. No, I'm playing.
Oh my god.
You know how versatile those tentacles could be? Let me stop.
Yeah, you didn't have to go there, but I'm glad you did. So I think we actually have some people walking up. Let's see if
Oh?
I'll take a second to look up. Are they in the driveway? Oh,
People-
is it not Meg?
People plural?
Oh, it's the neighbors. Okay, I thought it was Megan then.
Oh, you said people plural? Like, is someone else coming?
Ouch. All right. So,
Feeling good?
oh
feeling
my
good?
god, I could fucking kill you. So
Please tell me you're not having heat flashes right now.
dude, I think I need to sit in the shade. Boom, boom, tss, boom, boom,
Oh,
tss, boom,
no.
boom. So as I mentioned before, a few other things happened. I guess we'll kind of work backwards now. The most recent one has been the pink sauce.
Oh, yeah.
I know everybody's mentioned it and talked about it now, but now we have a little bit more updates, and I think that makes it funnier to talk about. So, if for anybody who doesn't know, go on TikTok because like it's literally like all over everybody's shit. If you don't know what it is by now, then like fuck you on like Instagram Reels. They'll see it in a month.
Yeah, give them time. Actually, before we get into that, something I want to touch this. Yeah, you can wait.
Okay, that's fair.
Just because you brought up Instagram Reels and how everything falls behind, children are the Instagram Reels of people
Yes.
because the way they are so behind on meme culture and everything, it's so funny.
Yeah.
You know, because a little backstory here. When we first recorded earlier today, our boy Cam, who is not here right now, miss you, buddy, but he was babysitting So he had he had a niece and nephew with him, and the things they were referencing,
21?
they had range to them.
21?
Yeah, they were referencing old Vines. Funny enough, they were like back in the day when you would do stuff for Vine. Back in the day, they weren't a thing. Like they weren't even conceived yet. I feel like they were referencing old Vines, and then referencing things like The Rock rapping,
Yeah.
and it just
He kept throwing out there, he was like, I forget what Cam said. Cam said something like, oh, well, I'm yada, yada, yada. And immediately he's like, stop the cap. Whatever the
yeah. It is amazing how not up to date they are for how old they want to act.
and for how into like social media they generally are.
Yeah.
Too.
If there was a way I could humble more children.
There's a big ass bug in the park.
Oh, right there, right
There
there.
he
Oh,
goes.
wait, oh.
That's a big ass moth. Oh, it's probably gonna go to the lights.
It is bumping into every possible thing. It is right above my head.
I think it's a beetle.
What if that bug just decides to stop flying and just fucking drops? That's right on my
Then
face.
you got a new friend.
Yo, I would rather die.
Me too. Don't worry. So, anyways, back to pink sauce. I won't be surprised if these kids don't come back to pink sauce in like 2 months from now, 3 months from now. Like, oh yeah, I saw that on YouTube or something.
Yeah.
I was watching some shorts.
Sorry. Some YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm wrong about kids. Kids are like YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
Even less up to date.
Exactly.
I think the iceberg of memes is it's Twitter to TikTok to Instagram to YouTube to Facebook.
Yeah.
That feels like that feels right.
Yeah.
I don't know. So when our grandparents learn about pink sauce, that'll be a doozy.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, let's go into what pink sauce is.
So, I don't know her name, but this lady on TikTok made a sauce, and it claims to just have dried milk, as she's come out and said afterwards. She was trying to clear it up. Dried milk.
Was milk?
Apparently. Originally, a lot of the promotion just had sunflower oil, like paprika and different peppers
There's like
ground
dragon
up.
fruit in it too, right?
Dragon fruit gave it the pink color.
Yeah.
And I think a few other things.
Man, dragon fruit is the most mid fruit.
And it's also odd because she was throwing it on like burgers and chicken and all sorts of shit, like a fruity flavor with that.
See, I imagine I wouldn't think it matters all that much because with dragon fruit being so fucking bland, it's not going to add anything. It's simply there for the color.
Yeah.
For how pretty dragon fruit is, it has got nothing going on inside.
Yeah. Just like me, for real.
Yeah.
Nah, but essentially, she claimed that it was fairly simple ingredients. She was making it at home, like with a small production, and it kind of blew up overnight. And people were a little thrown off because, one, the nutrition label was off. It was completely wrong in certain points. Like it said 444 portions, and I guess that was a mix-up, is what she's claiming. And people were worried because a lot of them were coming in like spoiled or rotten.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, because it does use dried milk, which is supposed to be a little bit more preservable. It has a better shelf life than if you were to put dairy in it.
I mean, for you to be a small business selling something that is perishable like that is so fucking like irresponsible. Like if it's like makeup or something that isn't being consumed, that's a different story entirely. Like, people are getting sick over this.
Yeah. And apparently the update, as I got it from Philip DeFranco, and this is still, updating at the time. She is claiming that, she came out and said something about, like, I don't need to go to the FDA because I don't make medicine. I don't make drugs. And people are like, you forgot the food part, dummy. Apparently, the FDA, I guess there's something about condiments where they are regulated less seriously than other foods and stuff. So there is slight validity to her argument. I guess there are a lot of holes and there's a lot of gray area there. And that's how she's able to pick this apart and be like, I don't need to go to the FDA. I think that she did genuinely fuck up. I don't think that she was saying that because she knew this. I think that she was genuinely saying, I don't need to go to FDA because I don't make drugs, and she didn't know.
I remember it was like, this isn't a medicinal, whatever.
Yeah.
So like, oh, did she just get lucky in that sense?
I think that she must have had some sort of legal team or something that after the fact was like, no, she is kind of right because this. And essentially there is a chance that she goes to court over this. But her claims are a little bit more valid than just like, oh, I didn't realize the FDA regulated food. So.
Okay.
But it's still really funky because, like you were saying, as a small business owner and you're making perishable items, it just seems like it's ran really irresponsibly. Mm-hmm. Their marketing is really funny, and the reason that people were thrown off in the first place is because there are some where there's a lot more dragon fruit, and that's why it looks so bright, vivid pink.
Yeah, it looks so artificial. It looks like Pepto.
She claims that the ones that get sent out are less pink because apparently it makes your shit red. And she was like, we didn't want to freak people out by adding a shit ton of dragon fruit.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't really hurt you, but it, like, makes your shit red, and people would be like, oh, shit.
I'm bleeding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that's her reasoning for the pink coloring, but because the marketing shows it being so bright and vibrant, it's kind of the equivalent of like a McDonald's commercial where the Big Mac is like,
oh, it looks pristine,
fucking gourmet as shit. It's like stacking in beautifully. Like,
and then when they give you a Big Mac, it looks like they threw it against the fucking wall.
Yeah, it looks like they stomped that shit out, spit on it, and then wrapped it back up for you to
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of the same feeling that a lot of these customers are getting, especially when it comes in smelling spoiled and awful.
Right. I've seen some of the reviews. Generally speaking, they all sort of say the same thing, where it's like a sweet ranch or whatever.
Yeah.
But it is so unbelievably runny that I would never be able to trust not only the sauce, but also the people who still decided to consume it.
Yeah.
Like, I know you spent money, but you're sacrificing a lot of things, and one of those being your dignity.
To some extent, I feel like the best thing that you could do if you really want to try this, because to some extent I could kind of understand the appeal, but I think that it's very clear at this point that, like, it's not safe.
Yeah.
It seems like simple enough to just make at home.
Right.
If you want to try it, just make it. I wouldn't buy this shit.
Yeah.
I don't think I really want to try this shit.
Yeah.
But it's a lot safer than a fucking mystery sauce giving you, like, E. coli or something.
Oh, it's on me. It's on me.
Where? Oh, that big ass bitch. Oh my god, that thing is big as fuck. Where'd it go? Oh. What is that?
It was doing a mating dance on me.
Is that a horsefly? I thought it was a moth.
Is it deadly?
What is it? I don't know, but I don't like it. He said, oh my god, where did it go?
It's just a cicada. It's on still on the bottom.
Oh, you're right. I've never seen a cicada before. I thought they, like, bury themselves and shit.
Are we still going? This is staying in.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. You know why I ran out there? Because I saw it struggling. It was like on its back.
And you saved it?
I was like, oh damn.
You bitch.
You're the worst person I've ever met.
I didn't realize it was the same one.
Actually, thank you, because this is going to make a banger clip.
Oh my god. It's funny because we just, like, cut out into the void of nothing. Is that it?
Oh! Did you see the way it just ran into the ceiling and dropped?
It probably died.
for the best.
But
I have never felt more alive.
So, god damn, I don't even know how to segue out.
So pink sauce.
To segue out of things that should be discontinued,
The
let's go
audio
to some.
only is gonna go crazy.
Had a banger
Jaden,
segue.
stop messing with it.
I had a banger segue, and Jaden's out here playing fuck.
That was the craziest.
Best reaction I've ever gotten on camera.
He keeps running into things and falling.
No, I think homie can walk.
Yeah.
Now walk it out. Walk it out.
Nah, put that out of its misery right now.
Nah, homie's chilling down there. I think we're good.
How are we
Okay.
to film an outside podcast, do an inside episode in front of a green screen, and still have the same challenges as if we were outside?
Because we left the garage open.
You left the garage open.
Okay, shut up. Anyways, as I was saying, to transition from things that should be discontinued, like pink sauce and that fucking thing,
Yeah, discontinue.
we need to go to something that shouldn't. One of the greatest American tragedies,
Dude,
has been committed.
before you admit what it is, well done on that segue, I gotta say.
It was fucking good.
Yeah.
And you kept cutting me off.
Well, fuck you, man.
I always have shit segues. You should have let me have the one good one.
One day you're gonna learn to appreciate me.
I guess, yeah, you're right. Anyways, Klondike has announced that they are discontinuing the Choco Taco, and I have never been so pissed in my life. I think that this has to be on my top 5 list of awful things that have happened to America.
Yeah, this goes right between Kobe dying and that one time I went to the store to get like an exclusive cereal and it wasn't there.
Yeah, I think this is worse than 9/11.
Yeah. Oh, it's on his back now. Are you gonna do something about that,
Poor
Jaden?
homie. You were talking shit, that's why.
I got time today.
Oh my god. We're being terrorized by an injured bug. If you want
Yes!
to, yeah, put it out of his misery. I feel bad. Oh, speaking of which, I just slapped a bug on my leg. Oh! You heard it trying to escape. That shit was sad.
It's on the bottom.
Yo, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Damn. Anyways. The Choco Taco, it's not like the best thing in the world, but I think the reason I'm frustrated is because it's better than a Klondike bar. Mm-hmm. And why the fuck did Klondike not get rid of the Klondike bar before the Choco Taco? Okay?
It is a better drumstick.
Yeah. It's a drumstick that's like easier to consume. Mm-hmm. It may be stale. Most of the time they're stale. I'll admit that.
Yeah, it may be a cardboard consistency more often than not.
It may be an example of American gentrification of cultural foods for cheap gimmicks.
It may not entirely be ice cream.
And it may... I'm trying to think of something bad. It's hard to think of things bad about the Choco Taco, okay?
Except what we just happen to think of.
Yeah. Other than it being racist and it being possibly fake, it is one of the best ice creams on the market. It is easily one of the best ice creams in Klondike's catalog.
It is the most innovative food item since sliced bread.
Okay, that might be bullshit. But Klondike's discography is fucking suffering. And for them to take away like the one thing that I fuck with from them. So that's why we're going to start a petition.
Yeah,
I've never...
Enter the void.
I did enter the void. I didn't think that I would be as passionate about these as I was. But we're serious. We took a little trip. And we got plenty of Choco Tacos all around. And we're going to make sure that these come back. All right? Bench Podcast is starting a petition. Mm-hmm. You on TikTok, you on YouTube, whatever it may be. We need you to fuck all the politics.
We need your help. We need you to join us in our fight, the good fight.
Exactly. This is a bipartisan effort. I know people who are frustrated with the failure that is the Democratic Party, people who are frustrated with the right-wing extremism.
The UK is literally burning right now.
That doesn't even matter.
Yeah. The most pressing issue at the moment, I'm confused what's going on right now,
is the Choco Taco.
Oh, yeah. And to that we say,
some nice ASMR for you.
Yeah, to that we say some nice ASMR.
We'll never get a packaging experience like that too, guys.
Look at that.
We want our Choco Tacos.
We deserve our Choco Tacos. And when I say we, I don't speak for us, I speak for everyone.
The people. Making direct eye contact with Jaden right now is crazy.
The lack of crunch was so funny.
It's fucking like soggy, like. This is the fourth one we've had today, y'all.
The fourth one each, yeah. Purposely going slow so I can enjoy this and not have to talk about them because, well, let me get my thoughts out of the way first because they're going to be quick.
Okay.
I am so unbelievably annoyed with the sort of right-wing talking heads that come around every so often. Some stay around longer than others, like the Ben Shapiro's, Jordan Petersons of the world, and then there's this motherfucker. And him and I both talked about this before, but we both fell into the sort of like alt-right pipeline to a certain extent, like when we were younger. And this is essentially that in a different wave. And it's just as insufferable. So I do everything in my power to avoid like consuming content about him, whether that be like definitely not for him, but, or whether that be like making fun of him.
Yeah.
But it still ends up on my fucking pages regardless. And that shit's annoying. So I really don't know all too much about him outside of the caricature that he has created for himself. But
you say caricature all fancy, like I always say caricature, like almost like character.
Nah, it's only because I'm better than you. So
yeah. That makes sense. Oh, it does add up.
So I'm gonna let you take the lead because, unlike Andrew Tate, I don't speak out of my ass when I don't know what I'm talking about.
Facts. Yeah. So other than like voicing my general frustrations with it, I'm not going to be able to add as much to the conversation around the manosphere as others already have. Like I mentioned earlier, people like FD Signifier, people generally on the left like a Hassan Piker, or even maybe not necessarily on the left per se, like a Noah Samson, or I forget, what's his name? There were some other examples that FD Signifier used in his videos. I went and watched their videos as well. They generally do. That was a murder on camera. For anybody who doesn't know, Devin is still chewing his Choco Taco. Mm-hmm. Still got a bunch of cream in his mouth, and he smacked a moth out of midair. Essentially,
I couldn't even defend myself because you were right. I had cream in my mouth.
Andrew Tate is essentially, like you mentioned, he's kind of been pushed to the forefront of what is being considered the manosphere, which is generally like guys who tend to blame their issues, or this may not be the greatest definition, but to sum up what you'll see from them is people like the Fresh and Fit podcast or Andrew Tate or any like sort of male figure. I know Kevin.
Alpha male or whatever.
Oh yeah, alpha male type people. They were kind of part of this too, like leading into it for the past like however many years. I feel like
that's always been around, but
yeah.
a surge in sort of a media popularity where like people became personalities for that sort of ideology, I guess. Yeah.
The idea, I forget what the guy's name was. Kevin. I don't think it's Kevin
Spacey.
Kevin Samuels or something. He was the guy. He showed up on Atlanta.
Yeah, I think you got it right.
There is a lot of depth and like different pockets of the manosphere that make all these different characters interesting, but for the most part, they tend to blame their problems or other issues on people fighting against the concept of the patriarchy or I guess just like the status quo, I guess. A lot of what they will preach are very like overly masculine. I want to make sure that I'm like saying this right. Essentially, they're just misogynists. They generally will be very blatant about like my issues are because women do this, or your issues are because you're not man enough. And it really pushes, like I said, patriarchal structures of like, if you're a man, you're not successful because you're not a man enough. And we've talked, or I feel like a lot of people have talked about, that it completely...
I did it again. Sorry.
It kind of plays off of what the alt-right pipeline does, especially around, like, when you look at the LGBTQ plus community and how gender as a concept is a little bit more of a gray area, is a spectrum and all that.
Yeah.
It's not something that you can just be like, well, you're a man and you need to be more manly, and that's your problem. So to get into specifically what's so awful about Andrew Tate, before I completely derail this whole segment, Andrew Tate in particular is a talking head that does not have any real platform. His marketing strategy, I do think, has been interesting because it has kind of built trust with an audience by saying, how can I be canceled if I don't have a platform? Because something that you see is a lot of these figureheads, they generally will create their own platform. When they get banned off of it, they're like, oh, I'm being silenced.
Yeah.
This is like the step further where he's like, I know I'll be silenced because I speak the truth. But in reality, it's just him spreading harmful messages, generally things that aren't true. The way he argues things are generally using, I guess you could call them like logical lies. Like if you don't think about it, it kind of makes sense. And for people who may not have strong opinions, that's kind of how you rope them in because they're like, well, you don't really know any better otherwise.
Yeah.
So if you're like, yeah, well, this, makes sense because you know how many women you've seen, it'll generally be based off of stereotypes that we see on the day-to-day, because then those people who don't really have a strong opinion may understand the stereotype. He has a program called Hustlers University where he claims that it's better than the woke liberal colleges of the modern day, and he's going to teach you how to make real money, how to get a Bugatti.
Yeah.
How does he say it? It's like Bugatti. He has like a weird mixed American and British accent, so like he sounds mostly American until you get to certain syllables like an O. And I think the only reason I'm picking at this isn't because it's like making fun of him or anything. It's partially, I think, part of his brand. The way he talks is one of those like quirky things that I think also make him so recognizable. A bottle of water, like
He has a thing for like sparkling water.
yeah,
Right?
sparkling water. Go get yourself a bottle of sparkling water. It's like the O sounds get the British part,
Yeah. He
or
also,
like A.
also he would be the type to enjoy sparkling water.
Yeah, it's never really seemed like a flex to
Yeah.
me. I feel like sparkling water is actually kind of the shit.
I think the reason he's so miserable is because he drinks sparkling water. Like he has never known what taste is.
You're sitting there drinking Gatorade and sodas. That's your problem.
I attribute all of his negative traits to the fact that he has no hair. He has no discernible accent from any one place. He apparently has no taste. And I don't know his actual height, but he seems small.
He just gives short energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing about his
And
hustlers,
I wouldn't know.
yeah.
So, like-
you are pretty fucking short, actually. So
Yeah.
he's pretty short. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can tell a short guy when you like sense.
Yeah,
when
way
he-
to lean into it. Yeah,
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah, it's really fucking small. Like,
Uh-huh.
it's tiny.
Yeah, more.
Muy pequeño.
Take it back.
His Hustlers University thing, it's basically just like a Discord server and like some videos. Like his alternative
I didn't know that's what it was.
his alternative to college is a Discord server and a series of YouTube videos. And in those YouTube videos, generally he just says the same shit that he'll say on other people's platforms. But then when he does try to teach you how to do things, he's not teaching you like necessarily the technical know-how, like the legal area behind it. Like a lot of it is very business centric. There are videos where he is explaining how to run a professional like scam. Like he's telling you like, oh hey, like if you make a company that's successful, you know, once that's done, like that's easy.
Sorry. Andrew Tate, the Discord mod. Hey, kitten. Dude, in his accent. Hey, kitten.
Stop dropping memes in Gen Chat. Oh my god. You will be taken out of the top G. You will lose your top G role.
Oh my god.
No, but in some of these videos, he's teaching people how to scam while these people are being scammed, because the way that Hustlers University is set up is that you sign up and you spend $50. It's enough to where it's a lot for him, but it's not enough to where it's like, oh my God, I lost like $200 or something. It feels accessible in comparison to real college, and people are like, oh, I might be able to learn like real shit from this guy who says he's so successful. He owns casinos in Romania and shit like this.
He's also other things in Romania.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that. The problem is, then you can get other people to sign up with your affiliate link, and when those people sign up, you get
Wait,
half
so you're
the
telling
cut.
me that it starts with him at the top right here, right?
Yeah.
And then he gets some people in. So he gets more people in.
Yeah.
And then those people can
Get
send it to
more
other people.
people.
And so it can
No, those people get more people
And
in,
then it gets-
and each of those people get a cut of the money, so it feels like a good deal. And then Andrew Tate is
so it
slowly,
starts with him at the top and
Yeah.
then it just
and it slowly goes down, and then he is also getting half of the cut, right? So like everybody that signs on,
so
he
everyone
gets
at the bottom it trickles upwards.
yeah, it trickles up to him. It's for legal reasons. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that it's a pyramid scheme, but it seems fishy. That's all. I think I already said that it was.
It
earlier,
is
but I'll
a
cut it.
triangular prism
Yeah.
swindle.
Nice, nice. And you'll have people who it kind of reminds me of crypto bros who are used to this behavior. They're used to being sucked into a project that really has no useful meaning to it, other than, oh, hey, if you get this, it'll get you money quick and it's cheap and easy to get into.
Right.
So then they throw in like $1,000 because their favorite YouTuber said like, oh, this is the next one.
Yeah.
And then they get fucked the next day. They lose all their money, all that kind of shit. This one, you're not necessarily losing your money, but you are losing your time. And you are being played to make him more rich, whereas you are not getting those same results.
Yeah.
Even other YouTubers are kind of dick riding this. I know Aiden Ross, I don't think that he is in Hustlers University, but he generally is very like promotional of Andrew Tate. He's been on like the streams with him. When Hassan Piker actually joined that one, that was the thing that caught me off guard. He actually had Aiden Ross in there, and the first thing he says is like, Aiden Ross is such a pussy. It's like, you are dick riding him in front of so many people, and there's no reason. Like, you just do it because it's like you're selling out his product, and he's like, I don't get paid by Hustlers University. Look, don't buy Hustlers University. Don't go into it or whatever. And he's like, so you're dick riding for free?
Yeah.
Like, you're just being that way. And some other dude was getting like all mad at him for saying Aiden Ross is a pussy, because he's sitting there telling Aiden Ross like, you are a pussy.
Yeah.
And Aiden Ross is like, what do you mean? He's not even like defending it. He's just like, what are you talking about? People were like, Aiden Ross is like the most submissive person on Twitch.
Aiden Ross, what a little kitten.
Facts. So Andrew Tate is already running scams with Hustlers University, and he's getting people to also shill this out for him.
Yeah.
The next big part of it is that he himself really got his start with like Big Brother and trying to get into reality TV. That didn't work out too well. Stayed in the UK. He and his brother, I guess, fled the UK after being looked into and raided by the UK police for allegedly sex trafficking. And he moved to Romania because, in his own words, this is not like paraphrase or anything, like this is a quote, there are looser rape laws, and that's why he moved there, and now he's at the casinos and all that. And now he joins live streams from undisclosed locations.
Undisclosed locations, that's crazy.
The thing about him is, I genuinely think that, one, he's a person that's hamming up this shit. I don't think that he genuinely, full-heartedly believes that what he's doing is good. I know that what he's doing, he knows it's a scam, and he knows that he's making money off of it. I think that he's a bad person. His strategy is unique, and I think that that's the problem, is because now people are going to trust it more because they're like, oh, I haven't seen this before, and this is really smart. How are they going to cancel him if all he does is go on XQC's live stream?
Yeah.
The problem is, the first time you get somebody to prove some bullshit in what he's saying, what happens when those live streamers don't want to host him anymore? Eventually, you can only go on Alex Jones so much.
Yeah. And suck each other off.
Exactly. Like, I'm sure that in a month, when whatever the new fucking video game is, XQC is going to be doing that, or the next fucking gambling scam, he'll be doing that. Aiden Ross, once somebody wants to, like, fuck his sister or something, he'll probably, like, dap them up on live and, like, they'll freestyle or something.
Again, submissive.
Submissive as fuck. And eventually, Andrew Tate is... I have a feeling that he's going to run out of platforms to go off of, and he'll eventually, like, oh, guys, I finally made my own.
Did that just fly through your legs?
It did. It was kind of like a X Games trick. You know, like, this shit was kind of hard. So we have to kind of see where this goes, because like you said, there have been people who rose and fell from the alt-right pipeline, like Milo something.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Probably not.
I thought you just leave it at probably.
People who kind of were in that same sector of white guys who claim that everything is just simple and everybody's overreacting, when in reality, life isn't just
Yeah.
like all super simple. It's not, everything can't just be explained
Only
as,
from their limited perspective it is.
yeah,
It's on your shoulder.
nice. Hey, homie. Um, it feels easy for people to accept these, like the rhetoric of these people, because it's one of those things where if you don't have a strong opinion, it's easier to accept that, oh, it is just that easy.
Yeah.
Versus, oh, maybe it is a more complex issue and maybe I have to look into it and take the time out of my day to actually like understand these complex issues. Inflation is not something that is just a one trick pony, right? Mm-hmm. It's not something where it's like, oh, it's all Biden's fault. Oh, it's all Putin's fault. Oh, it's all the Fed's fault. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's COVID's fault. Oh, it's da-da-da-da fault. Mm-hmm. It is probably a combination of all of these things.
Yeah.
And a lot of other issues in our life are the exact same way, where people like this try to explain it as it's simple and that's why you should listen to me because I'm just pointing out the facts.
Yeah.
I'm pointing out in the facts, don't care about your feelings and all that kind of stuff that was touted back then. It's about shutting people down, especially people who, within these complex structures, are oppressed by them, generally being written off as like, oh, you're just overreacting, like shut up and sit down. Mm-hmm. And that's where this kind of leads to, especially around a time where, after what happened with Roe v. Wade in the Supreme Court, it does feel like there is it feels like there is this push to start moving backwards, kind of being more aggressive towards people's rights who aren't just like the cis white man, you know, because
the societal default.
Yeah. When you think of like conservatism just means conserving the status quo. And if you think of old America, like it's just about the white man for the most part. Mm-hmm. So when you have the Supreme Court overturning these things that they had previously set in precedent, they have completely bastardized this branch of government and made it a political force. Mm-hmm. It is starting to move backwards towards that, and it's trying to conserve that way of governing.
Yeah.
And I think that that's where it's similar to how the alt-right pipeline kind of rose up as Trump got elected, when people are trying to find their voices through these figures. They're trying to find their frustrations. I think that now it's very similar, where there are people who are frustrated with what's happening with the current government, or there are people that are happy about what's happening with the Supreme Court. And what they do is they voice their frustrations through these figureheads, like an Andrew Tate or whatever, people who are like, yeah, I don't think that abortion is fine. Mm-hmm. You know, that 10-year-old girl that, you know, got assaulted, that's how it should have went out or whatever. Yeah. Those people are listening to, and I'm not going to just chop it up to like the worst of the bunch, because Andrew Tate does have a way of bringing in everybody. Mm-hmm. But it gets you to that point by starting with something as tame as like, oh, you know, these things are bad for you. The reason that you feel awful is because you eat like shit and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. And although he's aggressive and tone and all that stuff, what he's saying isn't entirely untrue. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, it's just like a common sense take. But then he uses that to say like, yeah, everything I say is a common sense take. Yeah. Even down to like, oh, like, you hate how you feel about like how you're presented, like you think that women don't want you and all that kind of stuff.
It's like leaving a trail. Like, it's like, oh, here's something that's consumable and we can both be on the same side of. Here's another thing, and here's another thing, here's another thing, and they become more and more abstract and less something that you maybe wouldn't even have an opinion on. But because you've agreed with him so far on everything else, it becomes that much easier, yeah.
Yeah. It's about consumable bites until he finally gets you to these further sections of his beliefs. And And that's the dangerous part about these movements, is that it's about working you in slowly. Mm-hmm. So that's basically Andrew Tate in a nutshell. And what I was kind of getting at earlier is we don't really know how long he really has. He could be one of those people that just pop.
The way you said that, like, oh, the fuck, does he have fucking cancer? Like,
no, I mean,
you don't know how long he has.
It could be about, until he fades out of the popularity, or until the police find him.
Whichever comes first, honestly, yeah.
Yeah. But it is more like highlighting this bigger issue. He's just the figurehead of what is currently happening right now with other creators and whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. So, if you see Andrew Tate on your timeline, either watch it for the just like the absurdity of it all, because he is a character. Like, he is just straight up like super eccentric and odd, and it's just interesting to watch. Or run for your life, because
I do the latter.
Yeah. Oh, I keep wanting to. You know how like I always in these episodes I'll put my leg up like this.
You have to drag it up with the other hand.
It's so bad. I did leg day, and this shit is so ass. I literally, as soon as I sit down on something, as soon as I get back up to walk around, like, there's just no movement. Like, this shit is not working.
Complaining is so not top G.
All right, you know what?
I don't even know what that means.
You're never gonna get a Bugatti at this rate.
Let's wrap it up, because that went long.
You did. It's its guardian angel.
Hey, Jaden, sit the fuck down.
Jaden, chill. Stomp it out. Did he stomp it out? Jaden, just remember that I love you. You don't have to do this. Devin has broken the forest. I think this is how we'll just wrap it up before the park falls apart. Thank you guys for watching. I love you all so much, and stay safe.
Where am I?